What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome back. Back to the Classics, the cinematic movie podcast that takes you back to the iconic films of 20 years ago. I am your guy, Jay Alonzo. How you feeling? Good to see you. Welcome back, all the cine folks out there. Shout out to my co-host, Kay Williams, who couldn't be with us today, but we have another special guest. He's not really a guest anymore. He's more like a unofficial co-host, just whenever I want him to, basically. He's always there to help out when I need him to.
You sound like such a whore.
No, not even a horror thing. But it's so easier to go about things this way. So I'm not even gonna introduce you. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
What up? It's Big Los of the Noize, one half of the dynamic duo.
What's going on, Los? How you doing?
Yo, I'm tired. As I mentioned it on my last episode, my weekends are no longer weekends. They're just kind of they're my new weekdays.
Wow.
So today's Sunday.
Today is Sunday.
And it's really Friday for me. So I'm happy about that at least.
Oh, and you mentioned that it's Sunday. I have to first extend my apologies to the center folks out there. We announced that we were going to do Boogie Nights this past week, which is a shame too, because actually looking back at the movie, once I watched it and put the notes together for the show, the movie does hold up very well, and I think it would have made for a great conversation. But scheduling conflicts and all. But we're here today. Talk about a subject that I think that warrants a conversation. So we're leaving the DeLorean in the garage today, keeping it at home present day, because I think today's subject is something that we really think about. It's like it poses the question, and the question is Hollywood completely out of fresh ideas?
Yes.
We were
credits.
We were joking off air. We were saying, imagine going into like the pitch room now, because like everything, all the fresh ideas that has come about in Hollywood, it's been done already. So you walk into the pitch meeting at Universal and you go, so listen, so check this out. How about we get Vern Troyer and we get Peter Dinklage to remake Bad Boys, but the twist is we call it Bad Little Boys.
And you know what? That probably would do $300 million in the opening weekend.
I'd go see it.
I don't think I'm gonna go see it
for sheer comedy itself.
I don't think I'm gonna go see it, but I believe that's gonna do $300 million in the opening weekend, just because it's the return of the legend, the GOAT, the original midget. No, he's not even the original midget. What's my man's name? The black dude,
Tony Cox.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guess the runner up.
Yeah.
And the new midget on the scene who is doing more than just midget roles. And that actually makes me think he wouldn't do Little Bad Boys or Bad Little Boys.
Peter Dinklage is the kind of actor who, unlike a Vern Troyer or a Tony Cox, he doesn't pick roles that necessarily rely on his size. Mm-hmm. Like I watched the movie he did earlier this year called Rememory, and you swear up and down that his character was ready to be like 6'5". But, they don't concentrate on the fact that he is a little person. We
legally can't call them midgets anymore.
I don't think you can legally call them midgets.
Well,
legally you call them whatever you want to, but I think it's not PC to call them midgets.
But you know what? I was thinking about that too. How is little people more respectful?
Even better
than calling someone a midget.
True. We're getting off course.
Like they treat midget like the nigger of the little people society.
Hey, midget. Excuse me, sir. That's not politically correct.
This is 2017.
That's insensitive, sir. So, Los, we had this conversation to prep for today's show, and when it comes to sequels, prequels, reboots, okay, so I think we found the same list. I'm gonna credit mine to Uproxx, and they had a list that came out earlier this year. I'm gonna say maybe around like February or March, and the list consisted of, just in 2017 alone, there are 43 reboots, sequels, and prequels that were scheduled to be released this year, right? Mm-hmm. So when you look at the actual list itself, consisted of, from January all the way to December, at least 3 to 4 movies per month. Now, this is October now. And now, since October, we've had XXX3, The Return of Xander Cage.
Did anyone go see that?
Nobody went and saw it.
Oh, okay. I didn't think they did.
And for good reason. It fucking sucked. Not to
so
mention,
you saw it?
No, I seen it. I watched everything.
Horrible.
It was bleh. But in the same year, we got Fast and Furious 28. We got Underworld came back. You know,
it did.
Underworld came back this year, and it was still just as shitty as the originals.
All about that, actually.
Yes, and then you got to look at Alien Covenant. You got to look at what else came out this year. Oh, let's not forget about the Tom Cruise Mummy movie, which was supposed to be the launching of the Universal monster movie franchise, and it was like, I saw it, but if you think about it, they had plans on taking the Mummy, right, and having it be the forefront of this movie universe that are based off of the classic Universal monsters from back in the day. Now, what trips them up is that before the Mummy even came out, one of the reps, I forgot who actually said it, but one of the reps for it has said, we're going to reboot Universal monsters, the classic monsters, for a new franchise. However, it won't be so based on horror, more so action, and da-da-da-da. That totally takes away the point of why you're doing what you're doing.
Right, like, we're going to take this monster movie, we're going to take the monster out of it. We're going to make it all about action.
So what you're doing is...
You're going to Michael Bay this bitch up a little bit.
So what you're saying is you're going to do an Avenger-style Universal monsters, and who are we going up against? Quite, it's the wonders of the world, you know what I mean? So, now, with that being said, we have had reboots from movies that have, reboots and sequels from movies that have been released 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And one of those movies that, in my opinion, that stand out, probably I can argue is now one of the best movies I've seen this year, is the reboot of It.
Yes. Yes, that is definitely a reboot done right.
Done very well to the point to where, the original Tim Curry miniseries, I wasn't big on it. I fucking hate clowns. Like, I hate clowns. Shout out to John Foster, because we're in the same boat. I hate clowns. But it was a movie that didn't rely on the jump scares, even though that there are jump scares in there, for sure. But it's more so a movie. I call it a horror version of Goonies.
Why?
Because with the storyline between the kids and Pennywise himself, the way that the movie was executed made it to the point to where I can understand it, I can flow with it. The actual jump scares are earned, so to speak. So, and then the story itself is all around. It was a great story. You know what I mean? And then furthermore, it gets you excited to check out part 2, which is coming in 2019. You know what I mean?
I've never understood why they wait so long to drop like certain sequels, but I don't know. That's just me being random. I'm sorry.
But then you also got to think about it too. A lot of these Hollywood, a lot of these studios, when they announce a new potential movie universe or franchise,
a new potential killer,
they're jumping out the window, letting us know, oh yeah, this movie is going to be one of 7 movies. For example, Power Rangers came this year.
Not gonna lie, forgot about that one too.
Yes, Power Rangers came. Now I'm going to tell you right now, and we've been Power Rangers fans
knee high since tree high.
Exactly. I enjoyed the Power Rangers movie.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
I actually enjoyed it. I feel like for what I got from it, because my expectations were low, like extremely. Because the reason why is because the rollout to it was pretty cool for the rollout. But I've always looked at like Saban as one of those like cocky, like, yeah, we were running shit in the early 90s, but this is 2017. we're still running shit like, no, you're not.
Like, I don't think anyone's checking for Saban.
No, but sitting in the theater, and when the movie starts, and as the movie's playing out, I feel as if the Power Rangers had a great story. I feel like they spent more time developing the characters, which is fine.
I thought you were about to play. Like, Power Rangers had a great run, but let it die. Just let it go.
No, like I can honestly say that the Power Rangers movie had a great story, a great build up to it. I just wish we got more stuff with them as the Rangers themselves. They didn't really Mighty Morphin until the last 15 minutes of the movie, which is fine. But I just wanted more Mighty Morphin things to happen.
Wait, so there was no morphin time until like the actual end of the movie?
There was no actual morphing until maybe the last 20 minutes of the movie.
You know what though? Thinking about that, if you remember the show, at least the original show, I don't know how the new Power Rangers Deep Space Porn Attacks, I don't know what the hell they're doing now, but
Deep Space Porn Attacks.
Listen, they have had all kinds of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But if you remember the original show, they really wouldn't get Mighty Morphin until the end of the show.
Right.
Like, they would allow themselves to get their ass kicked throughout the show, and they'd be like, you know what? Let me put on this armor that made me a little better.
It's time to morph because
let's get this shit cracked.
They're really out here like beating us up
because we're losing right now. Let's just call it what it is. We're losing, bro.
So with Power Rangers is one of those ones where I can say like the end result of what I got was enjoyable. However, the movie didn't do well at all. The movie and Saban, like most of these studios, they're jumping out the window saying that this is gonna be the first of 5 movies. Like, no. How about you get that first one out first? Let that first one do what it's supposed to do. And then if the people like it and it warrants a sequel, cool.
Take that first one out, let it marinate.
Yeah, like let that ride for a little bit. We'll see what we get from there. But, jumping out the window and straight up saying that there's going to have 5 sequels to it is like and that's another reason why, for example, Avatar. We now officially have a release date for the first 3 sequels for Avatar. And the first Avatar movie, which I believe now is 11 years old, 12 years old at this point.
Has it been 11 years?
It's been a minute since the first Avatar movie.
Oh my goodness.
Now, Avatar, I didn't love it. Effects wise, I thought it was great. But, like most people who, share the same sentiments, Avatar is pretty much Fern Gully.
Yeah, ultimately.
It's pretty much Fern Gully. But, James Cameron, who is a master of special effects and creating this new digital thing that he does, it's almost like he has, style over substance. Or, he's giving you more so the quality of the appearance and less focus on the story. You know what I mean?
So basically, look how artsy my movie is, but look how effects heavy my movie is.
No, I'm not gonna say look how artsy my movie is, and that's a term that me and Los use when we're watching.
But you love those kind of movies.
I do like art house movies. I really do, and some of them are a bit too weird. Some of them are a bit too weird for me to recommend to other people.
I hate those kind of movies. Can't fucking
some of them are a bit just too weird for me to recommend to other people. But I also feel like some remakes, reboots, launching franchises, if you will.
You said, wait, Monster or launching franchise?
No. Launching a new movie franchise.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Or better yet, launching a what can potentially be a franchise.
Okay.
Right? So, we're getting Jigsaw, which is, I want to say, is a continuation / reboot of the Saw franchise.
Okay, so I'm glad you actually brought that one up. I thought that was a backstory movie.
The one that's coming out.
Yes. It's not a backstory movie.
No, it's not. I believe it's an actual reboot.
Oh.
And that's coming I think that's coming this month, actually.
I feel so weird about reboots in, like, we're rebooting something within, when did Saw 1 come out? It was in the 2010s, right?
No, first Saw dropped in 2005, I want to say.
So 2005. So realistically, you said it's coming in 2019?
The Jigsaw?
Yeah.
Jigsaw comes this month.
Oh, it comes this month.
Yes,
Even worse. So it was 12 years after the original, and we already feel like this is the time to reboot this movie. So is this admitting that the Saw movies were a failure? Because I could have swore they were box office hits, except for like the last two.
Well, I look at Saw like I look at the Paranormal Activity franchise, right? Mm-hmm. At one point we were getting like one per year, right? Mm-hmm. And the first Saw, I openly admit it, I loved the first Saw movie.
Loved it.
It was one of those ones. It's a crazy twist at the end. You don't see it coming. Just like the first Paranormal Activity, I was really into it, and I thought that the way that it created that atmosphere of just uncomfortable. I'm freaked out because I don't know what the fuck is going on around me, and just the way it plays out. But when that bag comes in after the first movie and that box office is booming, here comes the hey, we need like 4 more of them things, man. Let's go.
Put it in space. I think that's like the go-to is put it in space.
We've done that. Jason went to space. Jason became a Muslim and went to space.
Oh, Jason X. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm here to kill you.
Jason became a Muslim with the space. So yeah, so shout out to Uproxx. They have this the list of movies, and when you really think about it, it's stuff that like, oh yeah, there is a sequel. Oh yeah, there is a reboot. I didn't even think about that. So this past January, we had Underworld, Blood Wars, Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage, and Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. All 3 movies are horrible.
Well, do we classify Resident Evil as a reboot?
No. These are sequels.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
These are all sequels.
I'm sorry. You thought you were touching on reboots.
Yeah, but I feel like they all kind of run the same as far as. Well, yeah, they all kind of run the same to me because, like, especially with Resident Evil, Triple X, and Underworld, these 3 movies are,
trash.
Yeah, they are trash, but they're all sequels or threequels or whatever you want to call them to a predecessor that's probably been out 7-8 years since the last one. Maybe not Resident Evil, but definitely Triple X.
Maybe Resident Evil.
Well, no, the last Resident Evil came out probably like 4 years ago, prior to this one. The last Triple X.
I stopped keeping up with Resident Evil the exact same way I did with Fast franchise.
Look, Triple X 1 came out in, I want to say, 2002. The first Triple X, right?
Was it 02?
It was 02.
Okay.
Right? And then the one with Ice Cube came like 3 years later, and Vin Diesel said, nope, fuck that. I'm not going back to that franchise. And then
Yeah, because wasn't 3 supposed to come out like 2 years after that, and it's supposed to be like the Triple X team up?
Between Xander Cage and Darius Stone.
Right. That would have been so corny.
Yeah, okay. But then in February we have Rings, T2 Trainspotting, which is actually a pretty good movie. I enjoyed that one. 50 Shades Darker, a movie that nobody fucking cares about.
People do, apparently.
No, they don't.
It's happening.
John Wick Chapter 2, and then we have the sequel to Lego Movie, which is the Lego Batman movie, which is another movie I thoroughly enjoyed this year. So,
well, like, see, sequels that close feels like a sequel. Like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to this, but like the sequels I have an issue with is production companies putting out basically trash after trash after trash, and then being like, all right, the well is running dry. Let's go back to what we know best. You know what I'm saying? And then we get sequels 10 years after the fact.
Okay, so to touch on that, right? So we were talking about this earlier. So you have those franchises, right? Mm-hmm. And they have been consistently putting out trash, right? They make money,
of course,
but they're trash.
Very.
The trash. And the best examples of those, let's go more recent, Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Man Tell No Tales. Now, I have not enjoyed a Pirates of the Caribbean movie since the first one.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like, it just seems like the 2 that followed were just whack.
The 3 that followed.
Well, see, just like the Fast franchise, I know when to bow out. I know when to call it quits.
The Fast franchise is different for me because I feel like Fast 5 got new blood into the to the franchise, which kind of made it more enjoyable. Fast and Furious stopped being about cars 7 movies ago.
And that's where you lost Los.
You know what I'm saying? Like now they're like fucking James Bond and shit. And it's like you guys are doing things that okay. So I thought y'all were from LA doing street races. Like how do you get funding for this type of shit?
Looking at that exact dynamic, are they spies? Are they cops? Are they special ops? Like, what the fuck are they? Are they thieves? Like, what is
they're
their
no
actual...
longer street racers. To say that
right,
much.
that's one thing we could say. You know what I'm saying, with all confidence, they're no longer street racers. But what exactly is their job description? What's going on that CV? I
can't tell you.
No one can. I don't think they can.
And then now we have the Hobbs spinoff. We forgot about spinoffs because those are also becoming very prominent as well in these movies.
You gotta bleed the well, baby.
You gotta bleed that bitch dry. So it's like, you know, sorry, Tyrese. You won't be working for a while.
Who's having the hardest time
accepting these news? But you know,
I can't. What was his character's name in the movie again?
Tyrese.
Yeah. What was his name?
No, that's ludicrous.
I remember Paul Walker calling him "cuh" a lot. The second one.
That's crazy. You're like the 7th lead in this movie. I can't think. Roman Pierce. There we go.
Roman Pierce. See,
Roman Pierce.
That exact reason, Tyrese, is why it's not called Hobbs, old boy, and Roman. What was that?
It's not. For sure.
Oh, there we go. Hobbs, Shaw, and Roman. That's the only reason.
The spinoff is going to be about Dwayne Johnson's character and Jay Statham's character on some like 48 hours team up kind of deal. They're going. I'm going to assume they're going to go after Charlize Theron's character from the last movie.
So she didn't die. I didn't see the last one.
No, she didn't die.
Again, which one was it that they at the very end in the credits scene we find out that Letty's still alive?
That was at the end of Fast 5.
Okay, I bowed out after Fast 5.
Yeah, at Fast 5.
So anything after that, I'm going to be a horrible person to talk to about it because I don't know anything that happened after that.
But let's move on to I feel as if this is probably explosion porn. And I think you know where I'm going with this.
Transformers, of course.
Absolutely. This is explosion, but this is Michael Bay jizzing all over the camera for 2.5 hours. And
Michael Bay reminds me of the type of, he reminds me like a 4-year-old child. He just be in his bathroom.
Yeah!
And just the bathroom for the acoustic value of the explosion. Fire.
Because that's basically what Transformers is. Like, and once again, another franchise that the first movie I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
And
I did.
If it warranted a sequel, which I don't think it did, I feel like Transformers should have honestly been a one and done.
Man, they saw that check. It was like, we about to put out 30.
Well, yeah, you're right. But look though. So you have Transformers, the first one, and then you have the other 3. I can't think of the name of the fucking movies at this point now. But the most recent one,
Transformers, shit's going down.
Because that's what it is. You literally get the Paramount Pictures
4.
I know. And that's how the movie plays out. It goes, Paramount Pictures presents a Hasbro production, a Michael Bay film. Boom, 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 explosion. Ass shot, titty shot. Machines fighting. Yeah. Credits.
Transformers sound like a Spike TV show.
and that's getting a spinoff. Bumblebee is getting a spinoff, which comes out next year. Of course.
Listen. They are not stopping the money because people are tired of it. Because that money, that bread that they're bringing in, lets them know people aren't tired of it.
But you know, I feel like we're almost past the point to where Hollywood studios, they can't just, if you must have a sequel to your movie, you can't just shoot for a perfect trilogy. I mean, very few movies today have a perfect trilogy. For example, Planet of the Apes. That is, in my opinion, the perfect trilogy of movies. I don't want to see a 4th one. I don't need a 4th one.
Well, you're supposed to believe that after the last one, this now brings in Mark Wahlberg's Planet of the Apes.
Which I don't want to see.
I think that's where it goes from.
You
don't think that deserves a reboot?
Mark Wahlberg's?
Considering, you know what, I know you said that. This is something that you have on your list of conversations, so I'll wait till we get there.
For Planet of the Apes?
For Planet of the Apes, yeah. Well, no, just for this reboot conversation.
Oh, as far as that you think needs a reboot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'll just wait till we cross that bridge.
So okay, so we're here now. So I'll tell you what. Movies I didn't think need a reboot, or people who think, oh, you know what, that movie was classic back in the 90s, so let's bring that back. Flatliners.
I didn't even know there was original Flatliners. So
There was back in 1990, starring Kiefer Sutherland, and now you have the reboot, which dropped earlier last month, actually, and nobody went and saw it.
Here's why I'm a shitty movie fan, right? To me, Kiefer Sutherland's debut was 24.
Oh no, man!
I'm not like obviously I
now.
knew that he has been in more, but I'm just saying as far as I can't say paying attention to him because I didn't watch 24. Mm-hmm. But for me, actively hearing his name came from 24. I know. Shoot, you know how long it took me to recognize what's my man's name? Mickey Rourke. After I watched The Wrestler, I was like,
he was the bad guy in Double Team.
He was bad guy in Double Team. He was the bad guy in Bullet. I was just looking like, oh, he has a resume.
Not to mention him and Kim Basinger like fucked all over the 9.5 weeks set.
Yeah, then there's that.
Which is another planned remake coming, by the way.
Oh God, why?
Oh yeah, because 50 Shades of Grey did so well. So let's make some more sex movies. And yeah.
You know what? What I would love to see, as far as these kind of movies where they just taking advantage of like books and stuff like that. When they gonna give Zayn a movie? Like they ain't ready for no Black S in them.
Because Black S in them,
it's a lot. It's coconut oil. It's mad chicken.
So you have like a scratch and sniff in the theaters, so I can smell the coconut oil or the cocoa butter that's going on.
Sir, that can't even be a joke anymore because there are such thing as smell-o-vision theaters.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. Man.
So don't put it past them and don't give them any ideas. Like, this nigga's right. We could.
So, okay.
What does coconut oil and sex smell like?
I came across another list of reboots that are in the works right now.
Okay.
Right. So next year, you got A Star Is Born, directed by Bradley Cooper, starring Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
Oh, you ain't even let me answer which movie I didn't think need to be touched.
Oh, okay, cool. We can do that. So which classic movie, or even a non-classic movie, you believe shouldn't be touched?
That's currently in the workings or already out there, or either or?
Either or.
Scarface. Even though Scarface itself is a remake, I feel like they got it right the second time. It's like they don't need to remake it 20 years from now because they got it right the second time. The first one, and I'm one of those, I enjoy movies for what they're supposed to be. So I can, if I'm watching an old-timey movie like the original Scarface, I can, in a sense, insert myself into that time and enjoy it for what they would have enjoyed it for, people in that era. So I went back and I watched the original Scarface, and I was like, this was good for the production quality, for what we had.
Like 1949 or 1930
I want to say it was like 35 or 39.
Okay.
It for sure was in the 30s.
Right.
But I was able to watch it and be like, for the time, for what they actually had, this is good. The remake blew it out the fucking park.
Right.
Completely. So when I heard they were
it's
making
a lot of people
one,
that the Al Pacino version is the original version to them.
a lot of people believe that.
Yeah.
I thought that, and just being honest, I thought that for years. I thought Al Pacino version was the version. I still feel like Al Pacino's version is the version, but not because the other one just didn't exist, but because, I don't see how you can top that. So to hear that they're going to attempt to top it, it doesn't spark my interest.
It sparks mine because, it's been well over 30 plus years, 35 plus years since the Al Pacino Scarface, right? It sparks my interest because in 2017, or what was supposed to be 2017 of this release, it can benefit from today's society as far as like drug culture, as far as
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see
that. And with an accomplished director, say like an Anton Fuqua or F. Gary Gray or or Joe Carnahan, for example. Those directors can bring that gritty drug underbelly society to the big screen and make it something that we can really, with a kick-ass soundtrack. Yes, I'd totally be down for a Scarface remake. Absolutely.
I remember the one thing that got me like, okay, this may be kind of decent. And then I had to instantly remember her acting chops in Battleship was when they said that Rihanna was coming in to play Michelle Pfeiffer's character.
No.
Only reason I was like, okay. Only reason I thought that was an interesting casting choice is because now you got to kind of build around that. If this is what we're putting out, now we got to, okay, I could see it being that. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they have to build around that and match that. But then I instantly thought, she can't act for shit. That's when I went from interested to nervous.
Right.
Because now I feel like they're doing this from the visual aspect. Because remember, T.I. was in the conversations of being the new Scarface.
Yep.
What other it was one other rapper that was in the conversation.
Cuban Link was going to be the
Cuban Link was supposed to be son of Tony Montana. I remember that.
Right, yeah, son of Tony Montana.
So I'm like, at this point, we're not trying to make a good movie. We're trying to make it look like old Scarface. And I'm like, y'all are going to fuck it up.
Exactly.
So, long-winded answer to Scarface. They don't need to touch that.
I came across this article the other day. Morgan Creek Productions.
Who?
Morgan Creek Productions.
Okay.
Right? Now, back in the 90s, early 90s, they were a prominent studio. They gave us Ace Ventura 1 and 2. And they gave us...
Is that where the credits stop? He made Thriller.
Thriller. The whole 9 yards, 1 and 2,
Oh, okay.
So they have, some legit credits with it. But then for some reason, they stopped getting those high-profile projects. Now, All Eyes on Me is one of their projects of this year. And we know how that went. So they're now looking to sell all their properties except Ace Ventura with the expectation of bringing it back.
No, I disagree.
I don't know where Jim Carrey's head at is nowadays.
That check.
But I don't think Ace Ventura is in the cards for Jim Carrey anytime soon.
I mean, he's low-key like already acting like.
I think we're way past that.
We don't need that.
We don't need that. We honestly do not need it. But all right, so back to what I was saying. Give me another movie that you think just don't touch it. Leave it the fuck alone.
That's in the workings right now.
In the workings or not in the workings, but something that eventually, you feel in your heart eventually will become a reboot special.
Juice.
They're not going to remake Juice. They're not remaking Juice.
I know we don't have anything visual, but my face is saying,
They're not remaking Juice.
I'm telling you, I can see someone doing it now that all this attention is back on Pac. I can see them doing it. Now, where they're going to lose me is if they try to be slick and get Demetrius Shipp to play Bishop, but I'm just like, I can see them doing it for the exact reason you just mentioned with Scarface, with today's drug culture. Then they'll end up getting Chief Keef.
To play Bishop?
To play Bishop.
Oh, God. No. No, I said no. All right, so as far as upcoming movie remakes, the ones that we know that are in the works, reboots that we know are in the works, I'm going to throw something out to you. And I want you to give me your yay, nay, whatever the first that comes to your mind, right? So I did mention that A Star Is Born is a remake with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, which was originally supposed to be Beyonce, directed by Clint Eastwood. But I think Beyonce got pregnant with Blue, so she immediately just left the project.
She also can't act, but I mean, yeah.
Beyonce?
Yeah.
You think Beyonce can act?
I don't think she can. I was happy to hear that she was playing Nala just for the strength of black excellence. But as far as
well, that's more than that. She's doing the soundtrack too, which is naturally.
So black girls winning. But as far as like the actual acting chops, I know her character is going to be heavily edited to make her sound like she killed the shit. No, it is. Because, even thinking back to when she did Goldmember, I'm like, you know what? The hip opera Carmen was some years ago. She learned something along the way. Nope. And then when she did the movie with Idris Elba, okay, Goldmember was some time ago, and she had to play, a character. She had to be Funky Cole Medina, the whole nine. Nope. So I'm not looking forward to any of that.
And bringing them Goldmember, that's something I want to see another sequel to. I would love another Austin Powers movie.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like Mike Myers.
Mike Myers is the host of the Gong Show, right?
And he's in makeup, yeah.
Yeah, that's his highlight right now. You need let that man just do that.
No, like I would love another Austin Powers movie. Like honestly, God, I would love to.
You probably want like another love guru too, don't you?
No,
yeah,
no,
you do.
no.
Yeah, you do.
No. But here's a movie that I just didn't. The first one was cool. Second one, I'm cool. I don't necessarily care about it. But then you get Jason Momoa to play this character, and they're bringing back the Crow for the Crow Reborn
with Jason Momoa as the Crow.
He's too fucking big,
way too big.
Like Brandon Lee, God rest his soul, was a skinny, scrawny dude. And it fits that character of Eric Draven.
Right. You don't see a lot of swole ass goths out there.
But Jason Momoa is like, he's huge. Like I don't want to, like, dude, Aquaman, I'm down. Let's check that out. I don't need a Jason Momoa super swole ass Crow. I don't need it. Here's another one. Drop Dead Fred is there's a reboot in the works for that.
For what?
Okay, so how many of you guys out there can honestly say you remember the movie Drop Dead Fred?
I'm pretty sure none of them.
I mean, I've seen it.
Let me be respectful. I'm pretty sure it's a good chunk of people that remember Drop Dead Fred. But I'm pretty sure it's also a good chunk of people who are looking forward to Drop Dead Fred.
Now, here's one that I'm bothered by, because as cheesy as the original movie is, I don't want to see a sequel to it, and that's Starship Troopers.
Are they really going for a
sequel?
They're
going for a reboot of Starship Troopers, and I love the first Starship Troopers movie. I think it's fantastic. As cheesy and cornball as it is, it's great. I don't need another Starship Troopers movie. I just don't.
Well, that makes a little more sense to me, and the only reason that it does is because where technology has come since then. Mm-hmm. And the effects for that time were dope. I would be cool with seeing another Starship Troopers for that reason only, just to see how realistic everything gets. Like, I hear Starship Troopers, and I doubt they're going to put this much money behind it, but I look at Starship Troopers and I think about Gravity. And I look at the time and the effort that they put into Gravity. Putting that into an alien movie, that may be kind of raw.
I'd have to see what direction they're going to go in. But now, okay, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it comes out, I believe it's this year, or it's not like I think it's like first quarter next year. But Bruce Willis is remaking the Death Wish movie.
Right? What is Death Wish?
Death Wish, you don't know Death Wish with Charles Bronson? Mm-mm. It has like maybe 6 sequels itself with Charles Bronson, just walking around just killing people. Mm-mm. Well, when the man he's out for revenge, I believe his wife and daughter gets killed, so he's just going after the bad guys. But the issue is with this rebooted movie, because there's a trailer out for it now. The issue is that it looks like a Die Hard movie, and they're just calling it Death Wish.
Die Hard with a Death Wish.
If they called it Die Hard with a Death Wish, I would go see it on sheer principle. Like, you know what? The balls of y'all to just do that.
Just be like, man, we just here to get this check. That's all we here for.
Bruce Willis in Die Hard with a Death Wish. Like, yeah, I'll check it out. Cool. Do you remember Heavy Metal?
That was the cartoon, right?
Yeah, the animated. It was a bunch of animated shorts. Mm-hmm. It came from 1981. That's getting remade. When I read about this, and I don't really know how true it actually is. House Party is getting a reboot.
Swear.
Why? Now, as soon as you say House Party, Kid and Play House Party, right? I can already envision Lil Yachty's in this motherfucker.
First of all, you got to think who are going to be the ones. Wait, didn't they just do a remake? Didn't they just do a remake for like VH1?
That was a few years back.
Don't touch House Party. And now y'all playing with, childhood, man. Ain't fair.
Yeah. When you say a house party reboot that comes to theaters, I'm telling you, there's gonna be no. I mean, I could practically envision who's in this movie, who's playing the father, who's playing the parents. You know what I'm saying? And your stars won't be actual actors. It's gonna be popular rappers of today. Like, you couldn't tell me you won't stick Logic and Uzi Vert in that motherfucker somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
It has to be somebody that dances. It's going to end up being audio push.
Oh, you're right.
And I don't want to see that.
Like, you're right. You're right. Weird Science is getting a reboot.
Again, I go back to today's movie technology. Mm-hmm. I'd be interested in seeing that, but I don't want it to be a movie based strictly on its visual effects. I also would appreciate some dialogue and a story.
Weird Science. Time Cop is getting a reboot.
Why?
Well, I kind of agree with you on what you said about the last movies. I think with today's technology, Time Cop could be a dope reboot.
But time. I mean, like, I guess I can understand them rebooting it because it was a sleeper, and again, you know, putting the new visual effects. But no one talks about Time Cop. Like, nobody.
That's not true. When most people talk about Van Damme's best movies, Time Cop is normally in the conversation.
Is it?
Along with Sudden Death, Bloodsport, The First Universal Soldier, you know, the shit that the man is known for. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna throw out three more as far as what I'm seeing that are being rebooted, and then we'll go into the future. What we know is coming, right? And I think you know where I'm going to go with this, because we've had this debate a few times now, and this movie's coming this year. I believe it's coming like late December is coming. Give me your thoughts on one. You have the Thomas Crown Affair reboot with Michael B. Jordan.
Only because as a black guy, I say I'm all for it. I'm sorry. I'm, in the words of the beautiful and talented Issa Rae, rooting for all the black people.
Okay. And I think Michael B. Jordan playing that role of Thomas Crown would give that a certain level of suave and very smooth. You know, 'cause personally, the last reboot with Pierce Brosnan, I thoroughly enjoyed. I love that. And I think the only person you can get to play that suave ass character is Pierce. You know, he's fresh from the Bond at that time. I think it's a great movie, fantastic movie. And with Michael B. playing that character, I'm totally down for that. You have which is coming next year, Tomb Raider.
Nope, throw it away.
We're gonna throw it away.
Throw it away.
Well, here's the thing.
Away.
Like,
I hated that trailer.
I did too. It's a horrible trailer. Horrible trailer. But I feel like eventually we will start to get a run of actually good video game movies.
No, we're not.
Yes, we will. I think we will. Because
we're not.
You know how people are saying we're superhero fatigued at this point?
I've heard people say that they see it coming. But I think Hollywood has done a pretty good job with filling in the empty spaces between superhero movies with regular movies. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, they're also messing that up by introducing so many superhero TV shows and Netflix series, but I think that Hollywood is doing pretty good by filling in the gaps. But as far as like video game movies, I have no faith for any video game movie.
I have faith in a planned Mortal Kombat, which is coming. That's definitely coming.
I was more excited for Mortal Kombat when it was supposed to be Michael Jai White and the whole Mortal Kombat Rebirth thing. I was more excited for that because the realistic Mortal Kombat would look just like that. So when that didn't happen, if they ain't doing that, I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. I think that was like the saving grace for video game movies.
I would love a Red Dead Redemption movie.
That would be dope as well.
That would be super dope.
That would be dope. Now, I know they got an Uncharted movie coming, but I feel like Uncharted is one of those things that should just stay a video game.
I mean, it's practically a movie itself. The game is practically a movie.
Yeah, it's written like a movie. It was one other game that I was
Rampage is coming next year.
throw it away.
I don't want to see it. Now, here's something that I'm looking forward to. It's not a video game movie, but I have been waiting for the longest time, and I think you got the perfect producer to jump on this. You got Jason Blum and Todd McFarlane bringing back Spawn.
Yes, I look forward to
I am looking thoroughly forward to that. I didn't hate the last Spawn movie with Michael Jai White and John Leguizamo, but I would definitely accept what's to come.
I definitely take a new one.
I can always take a new one. And so just before we wrap this thing up, the movie that's coming out this year that is a reboot, and we've had several debates about it. I'm not sold on it yet, but as far as the trailers that we've gotten, I'm pretty interested in at least seeing where we're gonna go with it. And that movie is Jumanji. Welcome to the Jungle.
Nope, throw that the fuck away.
Why?
That movie looks like straight dumpster filling, dude. Like seriously, it looks so okay. Couple gripes I have with the new Jumanji. Mm-hmm. They're making it a point to say this isn't a remake, this isn't a reboot, it's this, that, and the third, yada, all this other stuff. But one, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Two, if we're gonna act like
I like the concept. I think the concept is pretty cool, actually.
I think the concept of them getting sucked into the game, I felt like it's cool, but it takes away all, because first of all, what system does Jumanji come on? And for two, we saw Alan get sucked into the game and then him come out and he's just this completely brand new person. As a viewer of the original, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people in our generation have seen the movie, even younger millennials have seen the movie. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to what the hell happened to Alan. So I'd rather see what happened to Alan in the actual Jumanji game. The fact that they're treating it as if, oh no, we're playing as the characters. We are the characters in the game. Like, no, that's whack. That's whack to me.
I agree with you on that point for sure. Only because the original Jumanji book is how the first Jumanji movie was. Like, it's basically you play this game and what happens in the games comes to life. So now they switch it to where you now go to the game itself.
Right, but I would rather that be the original Jumanji. Like, I feel like they're digging too deep into making sure this is not like the original Jumanji, which takes away all of the original elements of Jumanji in the first place. If that's the case, they should have just called it a different game, and just had a whole new setup.
Nah, I'm actually. When I saw the first trailer, I was kind of iffy about the second trailer. I'm like, this could actually be something special. So for that, I'm just saying.
Wow, this is what you want to wrap up on?
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Wow. What makes you think this is going to be something special?
Because it's not. Even though it is a reboot, but it's supposed to be made as a homage to Robin Williams. God bless the dead. So. Apparently, in this movie, there are things from the first movie that they are going to touch on in this movie, which I'm totally cool with. Los, thanks for hanging out with us today. Appreciate you, brother.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. What can we look forward to over at the Noize? We're going to see Jay-Z next week.
Oh, well, yeah.
It has nothing to do
with
nothing.
Very unrelated, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just so excited.
We are going to see Hove next week. With the Noize, look out for some new merch, of course. Shout out to everybody that's buying the Unfiltered, Unapologetic shirt. Definitely tap in and get those Noize 90s shirt. And, of course, we're going to be having some Ear Hustler shirt come out. To get all the merch, honestly, beatnetworkonline.com/merch. Expect just more, content and commentary behind the silly shit that goes on in the entertainment industry and in our world as we know it.
We also have a special announcement coming out pretty soon as well. As far as
I say, do we?
stuff working on.
Oh yeah, well of course we're working on the Phase 2 launch, so definitely keep up with Beat Network in general and checking for new content and just different updates and stuff that we're gonna be getting done.
There it is. Let the good people know where they can find you.
At Big Los UTC on Twitter. So I got to shout out KC, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. This is the third time that a social media page was forced upon me.
And you literally call it No IG Los.
And it's called No IG Los. So I guess you can follow me on Instagram. That really is me. It's only 2 pictures, so it looks like spam. But it really is me, No IG Los. Follow me on Snapchat, Big Los, Facebook, Follow me there. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you can find me on all the social media simply at I am Jay Alonzo, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. You talk to me and I'll talk back. Of course, the Facebook group, Back to Classics A Movie Talk group, is up and popping. Jump on there and join the conversation. I'll be posting, movie trailers, and I got different polls up for the folks to jump in and stake their claim, get the argument going. Shout out to Kay Williams. He'll be back with us soon. Don't forget to, like Lo said, jump on BeatNetworkOnline.com, and you can check us out on, of course, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, YouTube, and, of course, BeatNetworkOnline.com. And, this is Back to the Classics. Peace.